What's up, gamers? We are back with some more modern action. Of course, some NanMans, and this time we've got blue-white Affinity. I say blue-white. There's green in there, but we'll talk about it. Versus the Hollow One. Now, this is going to be a really exciting one because our Hollow One player is new to the deck. This is their first time picking up and playing the deck. They were borrowing it from somebody else. So what makes this so exciting is we get to learn some of the lines a little bit more, talk through some of this little gameplay stuff. So if you're new to Modern or new to this specific deck or haven't played against this deck before, this will be a good episode for you to be able to watch. If you have seen it, this will also be a good one for you, so you could be able to leave some comments and let us know some tips and tricks for players that might be picking up the Rakdos Hollow One. Now, there's a couple different variations of Hollow One. The deck relies on things like burning inquiries. Some variations run goblin lore, some do not, depending on whether you're the mono red version, whether you're kind of the Rakdos version. Are you on a red green with Vengevine? Like, there's really three different slices within the same deck that you get to go with. Now, the benefits of each, vary. The Rakdos one does give us access to things like Nethergoyf. It gives us things like Orcish Bowmasters. So, personally, I'm a big fan of the Rakdos version. It is not as explosive as a Vengevine list or maybe a mono red list, but it is still very powerful with just kind of how much damage it can actually deal. On the other side of things, the Affinity list, and we got to see the hunt for the best Mox Opal deck right now. I say that as we know that the Underworld Breach stuff got banned, so it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Players are trying out, do you go for the Affinity style of blue-white, using the Kappa Cannoneers and that side of things, using Urza, going for the Thopter combo, Thopter Foundry stuff, which is if you're running into a blue-white Affinity style like this, that is going to be more of the Thopter Foundry combo. Now, there are other variations. There's a Jeskai Ascendancy Mox Opal list that's running around. There is, of course, Hardened Scales. So there are other lists that are utilizing this card here, and we're seeing just sort of the build-up of artifacts at this point. Tamio's amazing at that. When Modern Horizons 3 first came out, I was doing something like this. I was really hyped and really excited to have Kappa Cannoneer and doing the Tamio and just building up your artifact count. But that was before Mox Opal was unbanned. So the deck does become a little bit more powerful there with the unbanning of Mox Opal. Is it the best deck in the format? No, but if you like the kind of control-y artifact grindy element of it, this is a really fun deck to be able to utilize. Now, a Nethergoyf early like this, and just sort of sitting here waiting, is kind of giving us the indication that, all right, they're waiting for an explosive turn to get out a good Burning Inquiry or stuff like that. The keeping the 2 mana untapped, especially the shocking it in and stuff like that, is really showing us that, okay, it's looking like we should be aware of a Bowmaster potential here. Aether Spellbomb's a nice little addition here. We're short on lands, though, so no Mox Opal right now, no extra land drops. So, yeah, there's the Bowmaster. Now, the Aether Vial does make this a little bit easier to help at least delay things. I say delay things. It will be able to bounce the Bowmaster back to hand, so we're not going to get shredded off of all of our baubles and all of our clues that we're constructing, but it's not ideal. So it looks like both players are sort of hurting on a land drop here, but Dragon Rage Channeler is going to help out. Looks like Faithless Looting as well. So, of course, the way it's set up is Dragon Rage Channeler always gets us an extra peek if we are going to be following it up with a Faithless Looting, right? Every time that you're casting a non-creature spell, you get a Surveil, which is very powerful, very useful, and we are seeing it. I love the Faithless Looting art for that. The Karlach Secret Lair one. I did pick up that Secret Lair, but I did not pick up enough of them to get a playset of the Faithless Looting. I might have to do that one of these days if I end up finding a Faithless Looting deck that I enjoy. Right now, the only Faithless Looting deck that I have constructed is my mono red Prowess Phoenix hybrid. Faithless Looting are in there to help dump the Phoenix into the graveyard. Also, just runs the Prowess creatures, being able to have access to Monetary Swift Spear, Slick Start Show Off, stuff like that. I did just put in some Quarry Steel Cutters, which are a really cool new addition there. So we'll see how the deck works. Maybe one of these days I'll bring it out and put it on camera again. But all right, there's the beats that we're going to try to go for, and we knew exactly what's going to happen. Bouncing that Bowmaster to hand, taking 3, not a big deal. Nice little chunk, tying the life totals up 16-16. Now we can start doing big draws. Now this is great. Also, you see the hoarding of the baubles. That line is really, really cool for this moment right here. Double baubles, bauble triggers, boom, 1, 2, and draw for turn. Immediate flipping of the Tamiyo. So that'll help at least prevent Dragon Rage Channeler from swinging in. That will prevent the Orc Army from swinging in. Yeah, we still have the Nethergoyf there that we got to worry about. If we can just get like one more thing in the graveyard, Dragon Rage Channeler though gets turned on, and we'll be able to have that Delirium bonuses there. You should hear people, our shop owner Trip, just geeking out in the background over. He told me some silly joke about my white border cards, and it was a whole thing. All right, so we've got, of course, Urza Saga going to pop here. Do we just get the Mox Opal? Like, at this point, we need a little bit more mana. We already have enough clues to help us keep that active. Yeah, there's the Opal. All right, and look at the sweet art version of it, too. I have not done it, and I keep talking about it every single episode. I have not pulled the trigger on more Mox Opals. But again, I'm not like, yes, I have Hardened Scales together, but it's fine without it. I do have the pieces to build the blue-white affinity list, but I'm not on that right now. I'll probably play it in on MTGO. I've played a couple lists of them on MTGO. And speaking of MTGO, we do have a stream that we're doing this weekend for anybody that cares about it. We put up a post on the channel to show. We're going to be doing a little bit of a charity stream. So we will be raising money for the Trevor Project and Trans Lifeline. I'll put links in the description for anybody that feels the need or wants to donate. But also we're going to be playing 2 Commander Pods at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. We'll probably break up the VODs and put them up on the channel as well if you missed them live. And then we'll play some MTGO leagues afterward to kind of wrap up the stream for it. But the stream is in partnership with Commander Sealed. So we are helping to raise some money for their big 2025 charity event. So if you guys want to be able to check it out, check out twitch.tv/therealNanMan for the Twitch side of things. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a double broadcast up on YouTube as well. I haven't done any double broadcast in a while, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But there we get the Fetch Shocking, the sweet old border hollowed fountain. I mean, look at the aesthetics of the deck are there for both sides of this, right? You see like this kind of pretty much foiled out Hollow One deck versus this like old school art style version of this Affinity. So we're in kind of that decision making mode here of like, okay, we finally got up to 3 mana. How are we going to do it this turn? Oh, Portable Hole is great. Portable Hole is, like we talked about the control-y aspects of the Affinity list. This is one of the ways that it can try to help deal with some of the aggro decks. It does have a little bit of a harder time. If you don't have the hands with the Portable Hole, it becomes a little bit tough. When I played with this deck online, I felt like I was okay because the Thopter Foundry combo, because of Portable Holes, because being able to make constructs, like the creature elements of the deck, I didn't really have too much trouble dealing with like the aggro stuff. I had a lot more trouble dealing with like the big mana Eldrazi or Tron style decks. I don't know, that becomes a little bit challenging where you're like relying on things like counter spells or things like that to deal with it. Like Portable Hold cannot hit any of the big scary stuff, so it's like it does become a little bit more challenging. But that is not the case in this matchup because we don't really have that many big mana stuff that we are up against. Like the Hollow One deck, the biggest thing that it could do, if it ever, yeah, here we go. Hollow One. If it ever could find it, we could be able to cast a Hollow One. It's 5 mana. It's an artifact, so it does, help out a little bit. Some you know, cards that deal with things that deal with one or more colors, but it also is a little bit fragile because it is an artifact. Artifact destruction can actually be relevant here. So Hollow One's coming out. And we are going to be going for the Detective Phoenix attached to the Hollow One here. So 7 damage. Do we... Technically 6. All right, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, 6 damage total. Plus 2. It's 4, 4, plus 2. We're going to just kill the Tameo here. I think that's fine. Like, we keep getting into these moments in the game where it's like, do we ignore the Planeswalker and just go for face? Like, these moments continue to come up on the channel, and having perfect information or knowing the stuff that's going on, like we know that there's a Bowmaster in hand, we know that there is another Detective Phoenix, it's like, is that the best line, or do we just push for damage and hope for a follow-up turn to deal with Tameo? Maybe we play the, you know, Orc army, the Orcish Bowmaster, and ping Tameo, swing for 1 extra damage off the army, you know, who knows, and then just continue to put the pressure on our opponent. But swinging 6 damage to face, essentially 5, because Tameo does weaken it, you know, puts our opponent to 8, follow up, another 5 puts him to 3, like, I don't know. 2, 1 puts him to 1, essentially, if we just went all face and hope for a bolt. Ooh, Thopter Foundry. All right, so here's the green we talked about. The access to green is available. Shifting Woodlands is basically the only green to help get us things back from the graveyard. But the Thopter Foundry is one part of a combo with Sword of the Meek and Urza, Lord High Artificer. If you have all 3 of those cards, you can gain pretty much infinite life. You continue to tap the Sword of Meek for a blue mana, sacrifice it to Thopter Foundry. A Thopter is created, Sword of Meek comes back from the graveyard, rinse and repeat. Make a giant Thopter army. You can't kill your opponent in that turn, but you set yourself up to basically a winning position where it's very difficult for them to come back from, because it's think of it similar to like a Brood Scale combo. Like, hey, all right, I'll make this one guy real big. Can you deal with this turn? Nope. All right, I'm going to kill you next turn. That's kind of what the Thopter Foundry sets itself up for. But yeah, now the beats are coming across. But 4 mana, there's the Urza. So we're now making a construct, which is going to be really big. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6/6. All right, 6/6. Our opponent's at 6, so we still have the flying ability. All right, blue, 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 3 blue for stock up. We haven't been seeing it as much. There's a couple of lists that are running stock up now in Modern. This one is one of them. I've seen some of the Scapeshift decks running it. Like, it's a cool card. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library. So 3 mana, grab 2 of the best things from 5 cards. In a list like this or Scapeshift, it feels really good. I mean, there might be some other lists that are running it as well, but those are the only ones that I have personally seen utilizing this card. So where do we go from here? I mean, that also gets around the draw effects, right? We don't have to worry about a Bowmaster causing problems. Okay. Now, we are in this tough spot. Urza Saga. The Thopter Foundry is active. You could tap it for mana, blow up our clue here. Oh, blow up a bauble. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7/7. Bowmaster gonna come out. How many cards we got left in hand? Not many. I mean, here's the other thing. A Bowmaster plus a Lightning Bolt kills Urza. All right, so thinking about lines that are available. Ooh, a Burning Inquiry. That's nice. So that's 3 extra damage. Making our Orc army bigger. We could deal 3 damage to the Construct here, but I feel like... Yeah, probably the Construct, right? Or do you just go face? If we do 3 damage, so each player is going to draw 3 cards. 3 extra draws will trigger our Bowmaster 3 times. So I guess if we get a Bolt, right, we go, all right, shoot face for 3, triggers, bing, 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 bing. And then hope you get a Bolt or even a Tarfire, and you just like, all right, here's 2 damage. You're dead. So I think... On the off chance, it says, hey, let's get rid of these 3. You get rid of these 3. Oh, another stock up. Another Shadow Spear. Oh, there's a Tarfire in hand. Okay. Okay, so no Lightning Bolt. So we go, all right. Now, the opponent doesn't die here, right? Because if we go, all right, 3 damage to the face, drops to 2, ping, 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 try to Tarfire you for the last 2, we go, in response, sacrifice this artifact, gain a life, make a Thopter. Because every time that you do use Thopter Foundry, you gain a life. And we know we have to worry, we have the evasion here with Detective's Phoenix. Now, you see, because our Hollow One player is new, they missed the Burning Inquiry Orc army growing and damage. We eventually catch it. It does get caught, and we do get to do a little bit of, like, fixing of that. But, you know, let's try to do the setup here and go through things. You know, good on our Affinity player for realizing, going, oh, hey, this should have been bigger. You know, that's the stuff that I love seeing at our LGS is when players are learning new decks, that we are helping and encouraging them to learn the decks. All right. Yes, we do have some competitive players, tournament grinders, people that are hardcore and they are very good at this game. But the idea to improve at this game is to help those around us to improve at the game, because you want to play against skilled opponents to not only improve your game but to improve their game and just make for a better game state, in my opinion. All right, so yeah, we do get to do this little Tarfire is going at the creature. We're going to try to blow up another one of our artifacts, this time in the Mox Opal. Looks like gets gobbled up here because, again, we can't eat a token. So do some blockies here. Urza's there. Now, based on these blocks, like if we had shot the Urza or something for 3, Urza would not have blocked here. But we would. I think that, like, now seeing that we have the Tarfire, if we had done that, shot this, that would have forced the Thopter to come out. Yes, it would have blocked. We would maybe have forced 2 Thopters out. They would have gained 2 life. Had 2 blockers. Okay, so here's where they get the rewind. We get the caught. We caught it. Orc army should be bigger.
I'm at 5.
And we get to do a cheeky catch and reset. So life totals are going to get all set up here. So we're going to get it all figured out. But yeah, there's so many. That was such a complicated turn, but that was the big moment where players go, oh, this is why you run the Rakdos version. Burning Inquiry versus, like, with Orcish Bowmaster is so powerful.
Well, I would block that because I would be dead if I did. So I go.
Oh yeah, you are dead.
So I go down to. I take 3.
All right, so yeah, they went for the shooting of the face here, just to help make it a little bit easier. Like,
go down to 2. I go to 3.
I think that's the route to go for, and because I don't know, like, killing Urza is the problem. Like, looking back at this moment here and having that perfect information, if you can kill Urza, Urza enables the deck. And if you're not as familiar with it, like the Thopter Foundry combo, you have to be able to generate mana. So
1, 2, 3.
Thopter Foundry, Urza, Sword of the Meek are the 3 infinite combo, but Thopter Foundry plus Urza is really the like powerhouse together.
The token dying at the end of combat, right? Because it becomes
Oh,
a 5/5.
right.
All right, so they do get the little reset. Damage was marked on him. Cool, cool, cool. I have less artifacts. He'll just die, but we trade them off, no problem.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. I'm glad. I was like, I was like, okay, and I'm like, shouldn't the? I was thinking about. I was like, that should be a lot.
Yeah, so
bigger.
they were able to get it all figured out.
This is my very first time playing this.
Oh, nice, nice.
And this is where our Hollow One player said, this is my first time playing this deck, so I'm still learning the lines and figuring it out. And that's, you know, I don't know. I love being able to learn new decks and figure things out, and that's, you know, one of these moments of going, yeah, let's try to learn lines. And if you make mistakes playing a deck, you know, some players get really down on themselves and really disappointed about it, but I think that's the wrong mentality. Yeah, you can feel bad in the moment, but take that and harness that and go, I will not make that same mistake in this situation again. Pay attention to the cards that were going on, what exactly was happening in this situation, how can I avoid that happening again. And Ursa's going to come across there and just do a little pokesy for 1, but we're sitting here 4 to 15. Advantage meter is actually on our Affinity player side because they can make a construct. They still have a clue that they're going to be able to turn into a Thopter if need be to block the Hollow One again. So things are tough, but you know, the Hollow One could still top deck something that could be a little bit of a problem. All right, in the tank. Let's see.
Blue. I'm gonna have this for blue.
We're going to pop it. So we're not happy with our cards using our Pokedex as a clue there. I love it. I love the Pokemon tokens.
Smart Opal.
A Mox Opal. That'll help us. We'll be able to make a construct. We'll be able to make a Thopter. Can you guys hear Sophie in the background yelling?
Checking on the tap.
She's bringing her toy upstairs. Hey, hey! Look what I've got. I hunted this snake and I've killed it.
It got a forest. Which I
Ooh, another shifting woodlands. All right. So whatever scary stuff is still in the graveyard does become available to us here. All right. What is that? I mean, we have a Faithless Looting in the graveyard for sure. So we could flash that back. Is that a Faithless Looting in hand now? What is that card?
For combat. This one's 6/1.
All right. Bring the beats. Swing 6.
tap this.
Tap for a blue. Sack it.
Blue. I'll second the Thopter Foundry.
Gain a life. Bink. Up to 5. Make a Thopter. Do some blocking.
5.
I like the Magnemites as the Thopters. That's great.
Jump here. And before damage, I'll tap this for blue.
For damage, I'll tap that for blue. And this, and make a construct. So we're setting ourselves up for a big turn next time. Okay, yeah, we're flashing back the Faithless Looting now. Digging. We're in dig mode. Draw 2. Discard 2. Put these 2 in there. Yeah, so keeping track of the graveyard is really important for the Rakdos version. Oh, Dragon Race Channeler. Okay. My assumption is we probably have Delirium at this point, but I'm not sure. We'll find out next turn, huh? But this is good. Trying to split up and go wider for our evasion attacks. How will our Affinity player handle this? Make another construct here. Push for damage. Don't know what's in their hand right now to kind of help determine that, though. Options are, like, we don't have Sword of the Meek. You cannot tutor up Sword of the Meek off of the Urza Saga, but utilizing, that's where the portable holes really come into play here, of just like, hey, these are mana rocks now. They've done their job of exiling something, and now I got to continue to strip away at what you've got going on, because I can utilize that to make big scary constructs, which we're actually working on getting tokens created of a construct token for us. Once it's finished, we'll post it up so you guys can see, but it is looking sweet. Lava Spur Boots is nice. So talk about pushing for damage. Of course, gives us +1/+0 haste and ward 1 there. All right, drop to 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Another Urza. Wow, Urza Saga Titans. Just keep chaining them together. All right, double green. That's the thing about shifting woodlands, is you don't have to tap it to activate the ability of it, right? It costs 4 mana to activate. Double green and 2 colorless. So you could be like, all right, I'll activate, tap it for green, and now I'm gonna use that delirium to become a copy of target permanent in my graveyard. So we're gonna become a copy of the Shadow Spear, giving a creature trample, giving it lifelink, so we can really push for damage. Sophie is really letting us know what's going on. But all right, so we can start tapping, of course, the other equipments to help us equip things. We see the Thopter Foundry tapping for mana, and it costs 2 to equip, so we're going to be able to attach all that. But now we got some really scary. Let's count artifacts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're both 7/7s with +1 attack, so they're 8/7s. Shadow Spear gets +1/+1, so an 8/8 trample and a 8/7 haste ward 1. Ooh, and lifelink though, so that's going to be a big life swap here. Yeah, the construct. So this is like, I think this was a great showcasing for what the blue-white Affinity deck can do and why it is such a cool deck, because of moments like this where you get to go for the game's gone on long enough, I've survived, I'm now in the position of power, just utilizing my equipment, utilizing my constructs, and I can really start beating my opponent down with these big powerhouse creatures.
Oh yeah, Urza.
So, and the Urza, a little bit of poke damage there. All right. So we've talked about that advantage meter. It is clearly on the Affinity player side. Does the Hollow One have any way, like, the race is kind of non-existent at this point, right? They can't really successfully race the Shadow Spear, and spending a turn to keep you doing that and equipping it, seems pretty good. Faith Student going to get used, see if we could draw into anything. I don't think the list runs that many fatal pushes, but that is one of the things that it could be able to do. Street Wraith, let's try to dig for something. Maybe we're looking for a fatal push here. Maybe we're looking for something to help us out, but the amount of artifacts is too much. I mean, yes, there's no more Shadow Spear, so it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6/6s, but yep, we'll say we're going to go to game 2. It's too much. Maybe there's fatal pushes in the sideboard for this. I don't know. Some lists I see will run like 2 of fatal pushes, and then it's just kind of more relying on the lightning bolts and the bowmasters and the, you're kind of a aggro-y burn hybrid style there in that regard. More aggro style utilizing cards, but Burning Inquiry is no joke of a card. Like, especially against players that mulligan and they go, all right, I've kept my 6 or 5 cards that I really need. Awesome. And then they go Burning Inquiry, let's just dump away your hand that you thought you could try to fight your way back, and now you cannot. Like, those are those, like, real tough moments to be in. But all right, sideboard time was cut out, so we're going into game number 2. A Marauding Mako coming out here. Whenever you discard one or more cards, put that many +1 counters on this creature. Our newest addition to the deck, newest addition to not only this, but like the mono red versions, and just sort of very, very powerful setup creature for turn 1 because it gets out of hand fast. Imagine throwing a Burning Inquiry next behind this, and it's going to get out of bolt range quickly, and you're going to have to kind of rely on things like Dispatch or Portable Holes or things like that to fight against this shark. But we see the fetch shot going. Do we got our lovely little Tameo coming out? Is it Tameo time? Or a Portable Hole to start us off with? Just say no, we don't want to deal with it. All right, Tameo. Build up our affinity count. Oh, and a Bobble. All right. So looks like we're going to. Are we holding it? No. All right. So it looks like we are in need of information and in need of more resources. So we don't have the second Bobble or anything like that, and we really can't. We don't have to worry about. Looks like a Mox Opal that we're trying to turn on at this point, so we're okay with that mode. But Street Wraith, second Marauding Street Wraith. Now cycling does count as discarding, so these Marauding Wakos will get an additional counter on them. So both of them will get boom, boom, boom. Push for damage. Here's a 2/2. We'll take 2. Yeah, we need our Tameo left alive here. All right, fetch. Shocking as well. Yeah, shocking. All right. Blood Crypt coming out. What's the follow-up? Burning Inquiry now? No. We don't want a Burning Inquiry here because Tameo will flip. So you want to try to hold that back the best you can. Oh, Nether Goyf. Nice. 2/3 already. You know, creatures already in there. Lands in there. All right. Guess make a clue here. Or are we worried about blockers? Like this is like the scary thing that the Hollow One deck. We talked about it maybe not being as explosive, but on the play, this is the moments where you're just like, yeah, I've got 2 Makos out. Just cycling a Street Wraith has already put me in a scary position. The Nether Goyf's right behind it. Like, I'm going wide this game, and we're going to be really pushing for damage. And the Affinity list does not have a good way of dealing with decks that are going wide. Portable Hole will help us deal with, like, singleton things. So, yeah, let's get rid of one of the Makos. We understand the ceiling for that is higher right now than the Nether Goyf. Nether Goyf is scary, yes. It is a 2/3, but the fact that, you know, a Faithless Looting or something here really jumps those both up 2 extra counters, you know, that both would be 4/4s, swinging for 8 damage, 10 damage total on that turn, and that's the kind of the math moments that you have to do and where you're prioritizing, and things like the Makos are like danger, red flags going up, alarm bells going off. No cycling at the moment here, so we'll see. Go this route, do some blocking. And a Bowmaster is going to come out. We'll ping that for 1. I like that. Clean that up. Make an army. Deal 2. Drop our opponent to 13. And now our Affinity player is basically in that scramble mode of going, okay, I've got no artifacts, no extra Affinity. My blocker's gone. I got rid of one of the creatures here. Now I have to try to assemble something. Urza Saga will help us in a little bit, but I don't know if we're going to live long enough for the payoff for Urza Saga to be utilized here. So that's going to help a little bit. Malevolent Rumble will at least be able to potentially give us a blocker. A Portable Hole is nice. Yeah, Portable Hole is going to get grabbed here. All right, so this list is running the Rumbles. Not all lists are running the Rumbles for the Affinity version, but I don't mind the Rumble side of things. Our Larvitar as our Eldrazi spawn. All right, getting rid of the other Mako here.
Portable hole.
Or do we go for the
Let's go for all these.
the Bowmaster? I think those are the two lines, right? Ignore the Nethergoyf. Are we worried about a Orc army getting bigger, or are we worrying about dying to the Mako? They're both bad, right? I guess this gives us the option of doing things like a Bobble or things like that to follow it up. So we are going to be prioritizing that. Moving to combat. Swinging 5.
Yeah. Grind it out. He who has to fair wins. That's the way it works.
Do we chump with the... I think we don't. Like, we need the mana to help us come back, it feels like. Hey, here's another Goyf. Here's another Goyf. Here's another Goyf. Yeah. Let's go wide with all 4 of our Nethergoyfs. I hope you've got something to deal with this. Do we have an Urza? That would help. Okay, it's a Bobble.
You can. I didn't even sell it to my own guy.
An Emery. Okay, do we get anything good? Some lands and another Emery. Actually, that's not bad. Getting rid of, like, dead draws there. Now we've got another blocker. But 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage coming across next turn. We can block 2 of it. So we can block potentially the Mako, potentially another Goyf. So 2, 4, 5. 5 damage we still got to deal with.
I'll also go.
Okay. Yeah, look at this. We're going to put all 4 of them together in a pile. Swing all. Bring the team.
I'll sack this.
Sack this. Make a construct. At least we can eat something here. All right, so... yeah, block a Nethergoyf, block a Mako, or block 2 Nethergoyf. Like, I still think it's safer to block the Mako as one of them. The debate about the Orc army here is going, well, like if there's a Bowmaster, like that gets bigger and I'm in trouble. So it's like there's not as many instant speed cycling other than the Straight Ray. And not using it now, maybe it's better to go for the Bowmaster block type deal, but let's see. 2, 4, 6, 7, dropping to 1. One of these will get eaten. Ooh, there's some sideboard stuff. Brotherhood's End. Let's destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. And guess what comes back? That Bowmaster that got hit with the portable hole, so we dropped our opponent to 1, and ping for that last point of damage. That'll do it there for tying things up 1-1 here in this best of 3. So now we get to go into... so that was that, like... the real difference between going first and going second. It felt like the Hollow One had all of their low, drop creatures and really hit the ground running, got in your opponent's face and ran them over, kind of the scariness that the deck has available to it. Even though there was 2 portable holes that got used, the one construct came out, but it was just, little too late All right. Game 3.
Guess I'll try it. Delta, go ahead.
Delta, go. Blood Crypt. What do we got to start with here? Another Mako? Oh, Faithless Looting. Okay. Let's get some information. Let's get ourselves set up. So no turn 1 Mako this time. Trying to set ourselves up for the following turn. It's a setup turn here. That's the other thing, too. It's like prioritizing what to pitch with the Faithless Looting does matter. And it is like another skill of kind of understanding the deck. Oh, Street Wraith, too. So, yeah. Oh, imagine if we had a Mako. But that's okay. But understanding what to pitch and what to prioritize and how to kind of set ourselves up. Maybe we're hoping for a hollow one there, because that would have been crazy. We have not seen a turn 1 hollow one. But, you know, it happens. We'll see how we are set up here. Surveil land going to get used for our Affinity player. I'm a big fan of the Surveil land. We've talked about them so much on this channel with just how good they are. I've been trying to collect more and more. And some decks that I have run more than one. Some of them are running 1, 2, 3. I have a control deck that runs 5. You know, like a madman. Oh, a Shadow Spear coming out. That was a big deal card for game 1. Seeing it now could cause some problems. Blackleaf Cliffs. And pass. Again, the 2 mana giving us the read of a Bowmaster.
No, Matt has a Karuga. He's not getting anybody back.
Finish off that otter. Send it back to Blueborough.
Telling someone to finish off that otter. That's even worse.
Double Urza Saga as well? Alright, so there's the Bowmaster we knew was coming. Ping, ping, ping. Not the best moment to be in where you're like, okay, I'm just on Bowmaster, but if we're following it up with like Burning Inquiries and stuff like that, that could be able to help a little bit. We're going to do some fetching here.
No, with the intent, that was a slur. I mean, I think the...
Basic Swamp. Uh-oh. You know what that means. Blood Moon time. Fetching up specifically basics. We're going to get rid of those Urza Sagas that you've been collecting. Immediate responses, we'll make a construct here. But blowing up 2 of our lands for 3 mana is pretty good. All right, how do we come back from this? Do we have access to a... Like, do we have access to Mox Opal yet to help us get in there? Okay. Mox Amber will work. Mox Amber, of course, able to give us some mana because we've got the Tameo there. So we can equip, bring the beats, make another clue, which then grows our construct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the 1 extra damage from the Shadow Spear. 6 damage total with Trample and Lifelink.
Life totals are 24.9.
Oh, another Bowmaster. Oh, if we get a Bowmaster and a Burning Inquiry here, that's a lot of damage. That'll be a nice reset here. Even, yeah, Bowmaster, mark 1 damage on this construct, grow this. There it is. There's the Burning Inquiry with double Bowmasters. So we have 1 point marked on the construct. We're both going to draw 3 and discard 3. And that's 3 extra triggers for each of those Bowmasters. So 6 total there. So we could distribute it and start shooting down all of the annoying things that we wanted to, like getting rid of the construct, ping and face if we wanted to. All right, laid out the cards.
To discard.
Trying to hit my hole, and I'm hitting 4, and I'm trying to hit some other button, and I'm hitting D, so I'm hitting my barrier, and it's like,
Good news for you is you don't have to deal with this. That's gonna, these are both gonna trigger 3 times.
All right, there's the trigger.
Get 6 counters on here. I'll deal, it's got, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 damage is marked on it. So I'll
Yeah,
deal
boom, boom, boom. And oh my gosh, look at that Orc army is an 8/8 already. Okay, this game 3 is really cool. We're seeing this sort of back and forth between these players really trying to make something happen. And it's like that advantage meter is just swinging back and forth here. Push for damage, 9 damage total coming across. Shoo, down to 14. Hard reset. Pass turn. And that is turn 1. Oh, we're in turns. I forgot. Active player turn 0 was last turn. Now this is turn 1. Can we get there? 14 life to 9 life. A big 8/8 Orc army. We need a portable hole here to help us get out of this situation.
I'm a woman of God.
the amount that he jokes about being a good Christian girl, and you think that...
Okay, that'll help. Aether Spellbomb. It's not a portable hole, but it will be able to bounce the token and fizzle it out, kill it off.
I'm gonna get a Bible. Did you watch the original Carrie? It's so bad. She tells Carrie, she goes, they're gonna laugh at you. And then she takes the Bible and she's like, you need to repent. She smacks her with this Bible. And that thing is thick.
Family Bible?
All right, so
Hell yeah.
are we on just delay mode here? I feel like we're in delay mode, right? We're just sitting here and doing our best to try to set ourselves up. Yeah, look at this. Haywire Might, Aether Spellbomb, turn 2. Okay, we just gotta live. All right.
Yeah. And then I stomped it. And then, but at the beginning of the
Cycle of Street Wraith here. Yeah, we so Affinity player is on I need to live. Hollow One player is on I need to kill you. Tarfire is going to come out here. We're going to shoot, kill this off. Gain 2 life.
as it turns out, I was
Ooh, Detective's Phoenix. Yeah, let's flashback this Detective's Phoenix. Equip it onto one of these Bowmasters.
I wish it was game 2 of the Little One. Should have left your hand. March of the Otherworldly Light.
All right, swing for damage. We know the Orc army's going away here.
Pop spell.
Bounce that.
You're bouncing.
The orc.
Okay.
That'll die.
And I'll take 3.
Take 3, go to 13. That was turn 2.
In that case, I'll block the 1.
Block the 1. Oh, we had another Goyf in hand, though. We could have gone for another Goyf Detective Phoenix. All right, Mountain. Are we just going to go Hellbent here? We know there's another Goyf. What's the other card? I can't tell.
Well, yeah, there's 2 in the deck, and I drew both of them. Right. That's just where they're super relevant.
Okay, yeah, there's another Goif. All right, so we are in just like swarm the board. Not many turns left. Is there another Detective's Phoenix to help make that Goif bigger and give him evasions? We'll see. So this is turn 3. So Affinity player has 2 more turns. This turn and their turn 5. The Hollow One only has 1 more turn. So they really had to set up for dealing 13 damage on the following turn.
Another one. Yeah, okay.
Malevolent Rumble. An Urza. Oh. Yeah, Urza's going to get grabbed here. How much mana do we've got available to us? 2, 3. So next turn we'll have Urza. Okay. Oh, do we play a land yet? We haven't played a land yet. So we could play Urza this turn. Yeah, so Tameo, we don't want to necessarily attack with because, I mean, equipping, giving some lifelink. I was going to say we could just use it as blockers, and yeah, so we're just going to equip and go use it as a block against the flying Detective Phoenix here. Or trying to eat the other Orc army, or, you know, there's lots of options available to us. Lightning Bolt is here. Flashing back. What are we going for? Do we have another Detective Phoenix? No, Faithless Looting is going to get drawn here. So we do have a Bolt available to us. Save that to kill the Tameo off. I don't know. This is a tough spot to be in. Sitting down at turn 4 where we had to try to kill our opponent, and we're not really at that moment. What do we got? A Surgical. Surgical's the other card, but I don't think there's an Urza in the graveyard for us to be able to strip away here. So do a quick check. Nether Goyf is a 6/7. That's nice.
Take the binoculars on.
Swing out. 3, 9, 10.
Bring the team. That's going to get chumped. No problem. That's going to get blocked. No problems.
Well, if I'd drawn another Leyline Binding in that game, I would have gotten all 4 of your planeswalkers. Right.
Yeah, so we're in a pretty good spot. We're okay with what, like, the block mode. So our goal of can we survive, and it looks like we are going to be able to make it into that, like, draw mode here. Yeah, do some blocking. We'll gain a life.
This dies, that dies.
I'll gain 1 from the Shadow Spear.
No pass.
Gain the 1 from the Shadow Spear. Yeah, so I don't think the Affinity player can kill. I mean, at 7, though, do we have, let's see, we can do Urza here. Gives us 3, 4 mana to do something else with. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a construct. We still have 2 clues. Unless there's a Lava Spur Boots. If we have a Lava Spur Boots in hand, we win. One, 2, 3. Tapping for 2. Tapping for 3. All right, we're in the tank. We're debating. Okay. Here's what, yeah. All right. Wrapping it up. Tapping 2.
And then Dan being a pig and doesn't let me says I'm all done. Now it's your turn. Oh.
Tapping 2. Sword of the Meat coming out here. 2 more mana available. I mean, just making the construct bigger. Like, it's really just like, hey, let's tap these 3, do some stock up. Let's just go through our deck. Let's just get information. We've gotten to draw mode. We know the game is over, but I just wanted to see, can I find the Thopter Foundry here and try to go for a win or something like that. And we were digging. We were digging. Not that Thopter Foundry get us the win. It just gives us a million life because those don't have haste.
Only one bag.
But yeah, that was the got to see the Affinity versus Hollow One. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're kind of going through the last few moments here of the wrap up. If there were more turns, right? If the players were able to get into it a little bit longer, then we would have been fine. But you already see it's like 55 minutes already in it. Went into turns because we already cut out a bunch of the dead time in the video with sideboards and stuff like that. Mox Opal is going to come out, still generating more mana. Bobble is going to come out, help us generate some more mana. Pop one of the clues.
Target with the Bowmasters.
Bowmasters. Bink. Let's just shoot for 1.
I can't do anything, so draw.
Can't do anything else. It's a draw. 1-1-1-1. Let's go. Yeah, so basically at one point or another, it goes to the moment of, okay, I cannot get the win. How do I draw it out so I at least get 1 point off this and hope that my tiebreakers are good enough for the rest of the tournament there. But that was it for this one. Again, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you're subscribed, following all that good stuff for those that are still with us an hour later. But that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next game.